and you elected Nana Addo. Now we're told that the other two, they've all rallied around Nana Addo. Okay, so your comments on your election?
Yeah, to me, I would say it's a big success. Many people were thinking that because of the comments that were going on, before the elections, maybe we would have gone through the elections with some skirmishes and scratches here and there. But I believe in God so much that I have that strong faith that I knew nothing was going to happen, and we have gone through the elections successfully. Nana Addo coming out as the winner with that wide margin, and I expected that. Of course, I knew. I even gave him about 90%. I didn't know it was going to be so hooping to the extent of about 94.3% or so. I thought that Nana Addo was going to get about 90%. So this tells us that every MPP person, of course, the totality of Ghanaians are expecting Nana Addo to lead the party. And so some of us parliamentary leaders also rallied our weight behind him. We receive a lot of bashing and were criticized here and there. But you see, in my Akan tradition, if there is any chieftaincies to vacant and people are going to apply, you may have brothers applying for it. And you may have leaders of the family staying there, being those that are to more or less organize and get a person to be the chief or the king of the area. These elders of the family would be behind one or two of those who are contesting. And so if we are leaders of the party or we are members of the party and you tell us that we should not more or less indicate where we belong to, I thought that it was wrong in the first place because we are part of it. We are sharing.
There's a regulation in your...
They should look at the regulation again. That we shouldn't go out and declare openly. Okay? And this is why this example I'm certain that in the chieftaincy situation, you cannot tell the Abusuapeni that you shouldn't support it. The Abusuapeni, being the Abusuapeni of the whole family, will tell you that, look, we want this person because he has 1, 2, 3. More or less, he's the person who's going to supervise or superintend over who becomes the chief. He can take sides. Do you understand me? He can take sides. In this local example that I'm setting, it means that maybe the electoral commissioner himself, before the person is even appointed or nominated as the chief, he has already taken sides. But it's not like in our situation. In our situation, we went out to tell people and convince people that, look, this is the man that we have taken to the market for a very long time. He's been marketed and people like him. He's demonstrated that he has the capability of leading this country, going through the court case and all that. And so he's the one we prefer. Alan, the time will come and all that. Many people are saying, oh, he's gone, he's been beaten first time, second time. And it's easy when I hear the NDC people say these things, I shudder and I just smile, like Okujeto this morning talking on the radio. Oh, it's a done deal. When you keep doing the same thing, when you keep doing something the same way all the time, you get the same results. As I look at you, what happened to Atamos? Didn't he come 3 times? It's the same trend. The same trend. He came first one, second one, third one.
So you're optimistic?
Yes, I'm optimistic.
Okay. Do you know when the party leadership will be meeting and they'll be doing deliberations? Because now you have to move. You need to draw your timetable.
No, I'm not part of the national executive, so
well, I'm not saying you are.
I don't have the timetable unless maybe I get.
Because on the front page of the Chronicle, it's been reported there will be a meeting of the National Executive Committee or so.
I just came into town from my constituency.
Right, and then there will be decisions even as far as saying who will be. Is it a vice presidential?
I heard it on air, but I don't think that we can do that.
Is it not too early?
It's too early. I mean, that would be a rush. But he's saying that maybe, you media men have, sometimes we have inside information that...
Yeah, they have sources.
So they have sources, so I'm not privy to that information. Okay. And besides that, we are not in Parliament. When we are in Parliament, then information flows. So now that we are on break, I'm not privy to most of the things that they are
Would you say that your candidate and whoever he may choose as his running mate need to hit the ground running?
Of course. Of course. We are in opposition. And our constitution says that we should nominate a leader at least 2 years, so that you have the time to go around the whole country.
Oh, Nana has gone around
everything, everywhere.
He can even sit down, I'm sure, when he does the general election. If he will win, he will win.
He will win, yes. And so, if he's going to select or nominate Bawumia again as his running mate, which I know, or I think he should, because we have marketed him, Bawumia is a very good person and now known by everybody. It was when he was coming in first that people didn't know him. That is when his nomination attracted some kind of acrimony acrimonious decisions and all that. But now people know him. He's down to earth. He's with the people. And if Nana Addo should choose him again, which I know he will, it wouldn't cause any problem within the party, and should be as early as possible so that he will take the lead in going out. Because Nana Addo, of course, do very strong.
The other candidates who initially had expressed the intention, okay, or who contested him, okay, right through the initial 7
yes.
through the collegiate system, and now we've come to this very point where he has been elected. What form of support should they be giving him as a complimentary one for the whole campaign? Or Nana Addo is big enough?
Yes, they should offer themselves wholeheartedly, and then get themselves ready for any appointment that Nana Addo may give them, any position, any assignment that Nana Addo may give them. I hear in certain quarters, from certain quarters, that Nana Addo is going to give Alan Shamantin a very big role to play, and I want to believe that he will accept it sincerely and perform that role.
Well, you believe he may not accept it sincerely?
No, he has promised in his speech. He promised that he was going to rally behind Nana Addo and he was going to follow him to the last point, and so I believe that he's going to do it. And more or less, I want to use this media to send a message to him that he should stop his boy, Ohinito, to stop what he's going around doing, because you have given a speech saying that you are going to throw your weight behind Nana Addo, and Ohinito is also going around saying that you are going to investigate the elections and all that, blah, blah, blah. And Ohinito is, to me, coming with some what do I put it? Some legal issues that I don't think will help the party, so you should stop it.
Okay. Having been through the various structures of the party, I mean, as far as your political life is concerned, do you think that all the things that manifested prior to the election that took place on Saturday, we've had after the Congress in Tamale, rancor at your party headquarters, there's been maligning of people on radio and TV, and even decisions that have been taken that people thought didn't inure adequately to giving equal chances to the other candidates, etc. Even to you, members of parliament, going out and flouting rules or regulations of the party by declaring support for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Do you think that was fair?
No, I don't think so.
It was not fair.
It was not fair, but
it's a contest which was...
It's a contest, and this is a human institution. So many things are bound to happen.
When you flout your own rules and regulations, Mr. Kwetu.
That was a kind of a volcanic eruption with that passion supporting Nana Addo. And so I would say we
almost
all
like a revolution, you call it?
Yes, because you see, all the people cannot be wrong at the same time. And so all of us, if all of us went this way, then I'll call it a passion. That this is
you were wrong, but you thought you were thinking in your right frame of mind.
Like,
you were right.
Like in Rawlins's this in positive defiance.
I see.
That's what we were. You see, we wanted the man to go. We could have made this thing very simple. In my constituency, I spent not less than 6,500 organizing this.
Not less than 6,500. You didn't. So it was insignificant
to me.
To you.
Yes.
So he had an overwhelming support.
Yes, he had 2 votes.
There's always a talk about how he will appeal to voters outside his party.
He was saying it, but you see, everywhere we went, people tell you, if you don't bring Nana Addo, we will not vote. And so we're simply responding.
Where did you hear that?
In the markets, everywhere, every office you go, in the hospitals you go to visit people. Hey, MP, I hear you're going to do this. We want Nana Addo. If you don't vote him, if you don't elect him, we will not go to vote. Everybody was saying it. They were telling us. And so, if I represent the people and they say this is what they want, what do we have to go and do? So I voted in the special election, voting for him. And then this later election, I voted for him because that is what the people are telling me to do.
In 2008,
yes,
he was beaten by John Mills, about in excess of 100,000. The last election, he was beaten by John Mahama, in excess of some 300,000 votes. You think that's insignificant enough?
Well, if you convert it to percentage, then it is insignificant.
We're not talking about percentages. Because
you see,
we're using a first past the post system for our polling system currently.
Yes.
And if you know the dynamics of our electoral system,
but you see,
you should say that's significant enough.
100,000.
We're talking about the immediate one. It was 300,000.
300,000. Yes, 300,000 over. How many people voted? Was it about over 12 million?
In excess of 12 million people.
In excess of 12 million people. And you're talking about 300,000. As a mathematician, I'll say it is insignificant.
Really?
Yes.
Then he should have been president today.
Of course, the rules do not allow that. Good. So with 300,000,
I'm asking you that very insignificant figure you're talking about, Mr. Kwetu. How can he breach that? What do you think that he needs to do?
That can easily be done. You see, they tell us that we won in only 2 regions.
No.
No. Or we won in only 2 regions.
Don't bring the argument here. We're talking about significantly how you breach a gap of 300,000 and forget about them, because the electoral laws don't allow for regions.
Yes,
so.
we made mistakes in our campaign.
Good.
We are going to reverse that. Our campaign was more or less geared towards the president, going from constituency to constituency, organizing.
I don't get you. If you do a summation of the votes that were gotten by the members of parliament, it was more than what your presidential candidate got in 2012. Significantly,
no,
you do a summation.
It was rather.
No, I think so.
No. The president rather had more votes than the MPs put together.
No,
check your facts. Check your facts.
Okay, granted you are right.
Yes. The president rather had more votes than the total votes of the MPs put together. Yes.
So your argument is what?
My argument is that if you are able to concentrate more on the MPs, okay, in this country, a trend has been made. Any presidential candidate who gets more of his MPs wins the presidency at the end of the day. And that's my point. And so, where the party allowed MPs, parliamentary candidates, to campaign on their own. Moreover, anytime they are campaigning, they do so on behalf of themselves and the president. And almost all the money were channeled to the campaign of the presidential candidate. What's a mistake? And so if we go back and correct this, where we focus on the parliamentary candidates and make sure that they are able to do enough campaign in their constituencies, and we are able to get more of the MPs winning, automatically it translates into more votes for the president. And I'm sure that we're going to do this, and this strategy.
So the concern you are raising is that if you take a look at it, you were not given enough resources as members of parliament to complement
the presidential campaign.
Even though you claim he had more votes than you.
Yes.
Yes. Is that not an interesting thought?
It is, but you see, if more parliamentary candidates win, then it means that as they get the votes, they are also going to convince the people to vote for the president. Do you understand me? Now, when you go to the constituency level, people mostly go to vote because of who is going to lead them. And then ultimately, they get to vote for the presidential candidate. That is the finding. I like this parliamentary candidate, and therefore I'll stop what I'm doing today, go and be in the queue, and go and vote for him or her. In doing so, he gets there and then votes for the president.
From what you're saying people went to vote for their flag bearer and didn't vote for their MP.
Sometimes it happens.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying making inferences from the last election.
Yes.
That's your conclusion.
Yes.
That there were people who went to the polling station, went to vote for their presidential candidate, didn't vote for the MP.
No, I'm saying that when is it the decision to rise up from your shop and go and be in the queue and vote. Some researchers indicated that they go to the polling station.
You are talking about the motivational factor.
Yes.
I do understand all that.
Because of the MP.
But you are saying, as far as the motivational factor is concerned, there are people who may be sympathizers of MPP, not necessarily members of MPP, but as sympathizers, loyal people of MPP, would go and vote for their MP or go and vote for their presidential candidate in this very instance and not vote for the MP. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm not saying sometimes. That's what happens.
It happens.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not saying that's what happens.
Yes.
I'm saying
no,
that's
if you
what
look at the
happened
results.
Last time.
Yes, if you look at the results, that's what happened last time. Because in many instances, the presidential candidate had more votes than the parliamentary candidate.
So beyond the factors of motivation, how true is always the assertion that has been made in the last couple of years or in the last decade and a half, as far as our electoral process is concerned? They are the members of parliament, they are members of political parties or sympathizers or fans or supporters, depending on what category you want to mention them. That's the MPP and NDC, who perhaps due to not liking their presidential candidate, not liking their party, or perhaps the poor performance of their party in government, will refrain from not voting. Does it happen?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Some people do not vote because they say, oh, we have lost hope in these political parties because they are all the same, and therefore when they come, it is the same thing.
Those are neutrals. I mean, we're talking about party loyalists or sympathizers or fans or supporters or members, etc. I mean, will a loyalist of the NPP decide to stay home, let's say in a stronghold like in the Ashanti or Eastern regions?
Well, that's difficult. It hardly will happen, in the sense that they think that this is where I belong to, and they have. And
so definitely they'll go and vote.
They'll go and vote. But you see, sometimes somebody within the party steps on somebody's toes. Maybe even sometimes because of a distribution of T-shirts. I was here, I've been following this, and they were distributing T-shirts. I didn't get it, so this time I'll not vote. You see that it doesn't come from the president. The presidential candidate wouldn't have done anything to such a person. But and then also even the parliamentary candidate wouldn't have also done anything to that person. But the leader who was given the T-shirt to show over there did not give that person a T-shirt. Okay. And because of that person's mistake, the other person will say, I'm not going to vote at all. And if you stay at home, they will not go and vote.
From the last decade and a half, the elections we've organized, if you do a critical analysis of the election results of the two parties, the NPP and NDC, you see that significantly they seem to have votes that are always in the bank for them.
Yes.
NPP, NDC.
NDC.
They always have.
Yes.
They always, and in the last election, they crossed the 5 million mark.
Yeah, all of them.
Okay. So it means that no matter what you do, all these factors you're talking about, loyalists, sympathizers, etc.
Yeah. We all have a certain percentage.
They are there.
43, 44%.
So they have.
Yeah. Yes.
You have.
Yes.
So how then do you convince? What then influences the middle voters or electorate to vote? Is it how a party in government is governing, how the economy is performing, or how the opposition is doing well to convince them to vote for them?
Yeah, the middle class and the upper class will vote depending on the performance of the two parties.
What classes?
Middle and the upper class.
Okay.
They will look at the situation, the economic situation and everything that goes into the performance of those parties to go and vote. Below the middle class, people there are motivated. First, the most important thing is money. Because on the day of voting, people go to line up if they have money. They give out match box with 50 Ghana cedis in them, 20 Ghana cedis in them.
Money can sway voters?
Yes, money does.
In the national election?
Yes, money. Money does, seriously. And so, they have nothing to do. You
mean somebody can change his mind to vote for another party because...
Yes, then when you give him the money...
Some money?
Vote. Yes.
Right.
You give them the money, they go and vote.
That's all?
That's all. Because he says that, when they go up there, they go to do their own things. They don't care. They don't care about the road that we have done. I did this research. But that road you did, yes, MPP did it all right, but it's for everybody. What about me? What have you given me? This man came to give me salt. This man, when he came here, he gave me 20 Ghana cedis. That day, he saved myself and my family. And that is all. That is motivation enough for the person to go and vote. He doesn't think about the water that you provided. He doesn't think about the free education that we are talking about. He doesn't think about the NHIs that you give them. No.
So these messages appeal to who? You say upper and middle?
No, I say those messages will appeal to the middle and the upper classes.
Yes. Those messages, NHIS,
everything. They look at everything.
Employment,
the performance of each party.
Economy.
Yes.
Okay.
It appeals to those. But below that,
do you think that you claim you have been doing research? So I'm asking you this way: do you think that from all the observations you make, whether you're through your research or whatever activities, the middle and upper class, they form a significant chunk of the electorate?
No, you and I know the population ratio.
No, I know the population ratio. I'm asking you a question.
Yes, so they don't. Yes.
You went to stand for a member of parliament position. I didn't.
Yes,
so I'm asking you.
They don't form a greater majority. Those below the middle class belt form the majority. And therefore, if you are able to find what they need, which I'm saying is money, then of course you get a higher vote. Look at what happened. Look at the economy. What happened to the economy after 2012? What happened between 2012 June to December? You know the amount. So
2016 it will mainly about the economy. It will mainly be about the economy.
No, our strategy.
Middle upper. Okay, let's stick with this. Your categorization. Middle and upper class. It will be mainly about the economy.
About the economy. The performance of NDC.
Then for those lower, it will be about the money.
It will be about
what you
can offer and what you can talk about. Okay. Yes. And I guess that is what the NDC did for winning the 2012 elections. And
that's an accusation. I won't take that on this very platform. You say you share money, and I don't think that. Because you are saying that there's money, it means that you also share money. They also share. No, is that not what you're saying?
Well, we didn't have the money to do it, so we lose.
All right. So I wish you'll be standing again for your opposition, right?
Definitely.
How many people do you think will be standing against you?
I don't know. So far, about 2, 3. I've heard about 2, 3 names, but I don't know who would have.
Will you be disappointed if you don't win the primaries?
No, that is about politics. You do your best, but the people will tell you that, look, your best is not enough for us, and therefore they can decide to change you. So far, I know I'm doing my best. And so if they retain me, then it means that my best is good enough for them.
I wish you well. And I wish your constituents also see the good work you're doing.
Yes.
Okay, that's William Ejapong Kwetu. He's a member of parliament for Akimodan, and it's in the eastern region. And he's a member of the MPP as well, giving us his thoughts not only on the various national issues we've been discussing, but also on Nana Addo being elected as the presidential flag bearer or candidate of the MPP. And then sharing his thoughts about which sections of the classes of our society tend to vote for what and for why. Thank you. Okay.